Hi everybody, welcome to my latest YouTube video. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join me. I hope you're all well and dandy, people of the Beatles world, YouTube world, record collectors and the VC. Today we're going to be looking at some of my John Lennon singles. I'm not going to be going into a great lot of depth about them, but these are out the box that usually my camera is set up on, so I thought it'd be nice just to give them a quick airing. There is quite a few, so it could be a long video, but I will try and make it as quick and as entertaining as I can do, so please bear with me. The majority of these are UK originals, so we start off with Apple 13, which is Give Peace a Chance, Remember Love. If you get any glare like that, it's because they are in like the polyline sleeves. Of course, this was John's first UK solo single, and this is a solid centre one. I won't get everyone out, and on the back is Remember Love by Yoko Ono. When this single was released in the UK in 1969, it was still actually quite rare to get picture sleeves or picture covers for singles in the UK, so although they're not impossible to get, they are getting harder to find. Then we've got another version. This is just in a ordinary black sleeve, same record, Apple 13, solid centre again. Then we've got another one that's Apple 13 in the picture sleeve, and I think this one is a push out centre if I remember rightly. Yeah, and this one is a push out centre. So we've got Remember Love on the B side. Because I think, if I remember rightly, even a lot of the UK solo Beatles singles had different B-sides and stuff in the UK to what they did in America. Another one, this one's not in brilliant condition. I think this was the original first one I ever got back in the early 80s. But that does still say sold in the UK on text at the top of that. Don't know if you can see that. It's probably a bit better on that one. Although the sleeve is a bit grotty, the record is actually in really nice condition. And this doesn't include any of the singles that are up there or the singles that we got in that job lot the other day. Another Give Peace a Chance. This is a reissue from about 1981 in an ordinary Apple sleeve, company sleeve. And then there's this one. Where's this one from? I think this is an American one. 1809. Plastic Ono band. So I presume this is an original. Recorded in England, but it wasn't, was it? It was recorded in Montreal, wasn't it? That's actually not in bad condition though, to be honest. All these that I'm showing you, I've actually collected since 1980. An original UK version of Cold Turkey with Don't Worry Kyoko, Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow. This one is Apple's 1001. Play Loud, solid centre. Don't Worry Kyoko, Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow, Play Loud. And this is the one it is actually harder to get that in a UK picture sleeve than it is to get Give Peace a Chance. A later copy from 1980-81. I'd say it's 81 with push out centre. UK again. Then we've got Instant Karma. This is a UK version, Apple's 1003. very basic sort of like picture sleeve or picture cover. Again, solid centre, play loud. And then Who Has Seen the Wind, which is on the B side for Yoko, it says play quiet. I think that's actually quite funny. No disrespect to Yoko, but I do think that's funny. Because a lot of people say, oh, don't play at all, wouldn't they? I don't mind some Yoko stuff, to be honest. This is a German version, I think. I think it's German. Yeah. So there it still says Apple's 1003 on that. Then you've got some really small writing there. And then you've got an international catalogue number here of 1C006-91149U. I think it's German. Looks German, doesn't it? Again, push out centre. So you don't get the play loud or play quiet on that one, do you? Or don't play at all. Not quite sure what these are worth. Some are going to be worth more than others. Now this is a very interesting one, or it might not be an interesting one. So you've got the B side is Working Class Hero. Right. But the A side is Imagine. But what gets me is it's supposed to be a demonstration record. But I don't know if somebody's just stuck that on or not, because why would you cut the middle out of a demonstration record? Unless of course somebody just got it in a job lot, didn't know what it was, and got a jukebox. That's the only thing I can think of. It does play Imagine though, so you know I don't know, but that just, I don't know if it didn't have a proper, you know, it wasn't a push out centre and they've tried to cut that out themselves or not, I don't know. My gut feeling is it's somebody's just shoved another label on it, but I could be wrong. Honestly, I could be wrong. But yeah, if it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. I'm not really that bothered. But like I say, it does play okay. Another copy of Imagine, see like that. See if they've got something like that, you can still push that out. So in the UK, when we got this as a single in 1975, believe it or not, where in America and places like that you got it as 1971 as a lead single off the Imagine LP, didn't you? This was actually, Imagine was backed with Working Class Hero. A working class hero is something to be, which does make a nice pairing for single. But it was actually this was actually released to promote the Shaved Fish album in the UK, believe it or not. Why it was never ever issued in 1971, I don't know, and I think John was a bit peeved off that it wasn't released as a single in the UK, wasn't it, at the time. This is a solid centre version. Quite nice. That's just in a plain ordinary white sleeve, which a lot of the Apple records did come with in the early 80s, believe it or not. Another copy there, look, in the 1980s. But how many copies of Imagine do I need? So this is the American version, but I think this is a later copy. So you've got Imagine from that LP, Imagine, it says on there, look. And then on the back of yours, you got It's So Hard from the LP, Imagine. So I presume this is a later copy, because I would have thought that if that came out in 1971, that would have been on the American Apple label. So it is some sort of issue, but I don't know if it's from the 80s or the 90s. Because I've got that one, and then I've got another American one, which is on the Rainbow Capital label. It also says from the LP Imagine though. So that's the. So is this the earlier copy and the red one is the later copy, or is it the other way around? But they both got It's So Hard on the back. They actually play quite nice as well, to be honest. So I would say that's probably a late 70s copy, that one, and then that is a later one. But I'll probably be wrong. Then we've got Power to the People, UK version, with Open Your Box on the other side, which is actually quite a nice song from Yoko. And this is a full apple on both sides. So you've got the full apple label on both sides. Look, so Power to the People, and then you've got Open Your Box. Solid centre. That one is actually quite rare, and it's rare to get it in a picture sleeve still. So even in 1971, picture sleeves were still quite a rarity in the UK. I think you could get them for singles, but I think they charge you like 50p more or something like that. We've got another version of it here where it's the Apple label on both sides. Look, again, solid centre. And another one. Didn't realise I've got so many copies of this. Solid centre on both sides. And another one. And then this is quite a rare one as well, because this has got Power to the People with like what would normally be the B-side or the cut apple, and then you've got Open Your Box with the full apple label. Take it out a bit sleeve so you can see it better. Yeah, so it makes it look like Power to the People is the B-side, look, although it's not. And Open Your Box is on the full apple label. Isn't that strange? So I was even going to put that in the wrong way around then. Then we've got Happy Christmas, War Is Over, even though it is only July. And this is a UK copy on green vinyl. I don't know what that means on there, 38. Probably number 38 in somebody's collection. And then on the B side, you've got Listen, the Snow is Falling. I think the labels on them are dead good. It makes it go from John to Yoko. But these were the labels for some time in New York City, so this has got to be from 1970. Because you got that in 1971, didn't you? In America, where in the UK, we didn't get this till Christmas time 1972. Which would make sense why they've got that label on it then, wouldn't it? Then we've got, I think this is just a standard black vinyl copy in the original Apple company sleeve. Push out centre. Listen, the Snow is Falling. And then we've got a jukebox version of Happy Christmas. This is from the 1990s. And it's a black injection moulded label. I don't know if can you see that? See it? Which a few years ago these were going for like £50. I think they've come down a little bit now. Still nice to have though, isn't it? So you didn't get a proper sleeve or anything, you just got, that's how it came. Plastic Ono band. Merry Christmas, War Is Over. And this was from the Legionnaires Club in Skegness. Skegness is a holiday sort of like town on the east coast of the UK, which used to be a really nice place to go, but it's a bit of a dump now, to be honest. No disrespect if you live around there, but it's not how it was. This is the single that I think you did get this released in America. It was due to be released in England, but because of the title, they wouldn't release it. So it's "Woman is the of the World." I'll put my hand over the horrible word. And this is a later like reissue, like a Golden Oldies series, so it's on Starline. And on the B side is, or on the flip side, is "Stand By Me." Great song, isn't it, "Stand By Me"? Apparently, I don't know how true it is, but "The Woman Is the of the World" was made up with proper Apple labels and everything for the UK, and was withdrawn right at the last minute. So they are out there, but in very small quantities. And in all the years I've been collecting records, which is over 40 years now, I've never ever seen them. But apparently they do exist. Then we've got Mind Games. This is an American copy, although it's in a picture sleeve. It is an American copy, I think, because the papers on this is very thin. Yeah, so that's an American copy, so it's 1868, I think it says. And then the B side, "Meat City." Focus. I always think this single, Mind Games, in a lot of ways is quite overlooked in John's catalogue or hits. I've always liked it, but then this is the UK copy, so I've got the UK copy beyond the American copy. I don't know. I think it's because the sleeve on this wasn't quite as nice. So ours was on a lighter sort of green apple label. Still get the same B side though, "Meat City." Are you still all awake? Then we've got John's only solo #1, I think it was, in America, wasn't it? From 1974. "Ever Gets You Through the Night," although this is a UK copy. Of course, it was recorded with Elton John as well, wasn't it? Who did the piano and the background vocals or backing vocals, didn't he? And the B side in the UK was "Beef Jerky." Not cold turkey, beef jerky. This actually is a single that a lot of fans have mixed feelings about, because, you know, it was nice for John to have a solo #1 in America, but I wouldn't say that's his best solo song. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice song, but when you think things like "Imagine" were released in America at the time and they never got there, even "Mind Games" I think is more of a John Lennon song than this. But I mean, it is an up-tempo song from John, isn't it? You know, and as long as it, you know, I think with this he did start to get a little bit of more sort of like recognition in the music press, both in the UK and in the USA. I don't think it got very high in the UK charts, and it didn't get to #1. I don't even think it got in the top 20, if I remember that. I think it got something like number 34 off the top of my head in the UK. And of course, because he had a bet with Elton, didn't he, that if that got to #1, he'd join him on stage for the Thanksgiving concert in 1974, and he did, didn't he? Another copy of it there. Then we've got, which I think, see, if this would have got to #1 in America, and I don't think it got very high in the charts. I think I think it got into the top 30 just in the UK, and this is Nine Dream. With What You Got on the B-side. You don't know what you got till you lose it. Always actually like that song. I do actually think that's probably one of the best singles John Lennon ever released, just in my humble opinion, which a lot of you probably won't agree with. Another copy there with not the original centre. Another copy, not the original centre. And another copy. And another copy. Then we've got Stand By Me. I think John Lennon had a very, very like good knack, should we say, of taking a classic song and do his interpretation of it, and probably doing a better version than what the original artist did. That's no insult to the original artist or anything, but I think John Lennon's version of Stand By Me, again, this is just my opinion, is a better version in one way than Benny King's version. And I think when the Beatles did Twist and Shout, it was a better version than what the Isley Brothers had done. You know, even like Bad Boy, is that a better version than Larry Williams' version? You know, I think he got a great way of interpreting different people's songs, and it did work. Again, a lot of people don't like the Rock and Roll album, and they go, well, Paul did it better with Run Devil Run. But you've got to remember, John Lennon did his Rock and Roll album in 1975. You know, when did Paul do Run Devil Run? 90s, wasn't it? Fantastic song. That technically was John's last UK Apple single, because after the release of that, he retired, didn't he? There was another copy of it there as well. Although in some countries you got Bebopalula and things like that, didn't you, singles as well, where in the UK we didn't. Then we've got the 28th of November 1974. Do you know what this one is? Elton John and John Lennon. So this is the Thanksgiving Day concert. So on side A you've got I Saw Her Standing There. Then you've got Whatever Gets You Through. Side A is just I Saw Her Standing There. Side B is Whatever Gets You Through the Night, and then Loose in the Sky with Diamonds. So they're all John Lennon songs, aren't they? He does say at the beginning of I Saw Her Standing There, I want to do a song of an old estranged fiance of mine called Paul, because obviously he'd never done the lead vocals on I Saw Her Standing There officially, had he? He'd just done like the backing vocals. Actually, it is a cracking version of it, to be honest. Whatever Gets You Through the Night sounds good live as well. And Elton John had a hit earlier in the year with his version of Loose in the Sky with Diamonds. So, but this is like, you've got to think of this as a historical recording as well, because obviously this was the last time John ever appeared on stage. Well, sort of. I mean, he did appear for something for Lou Grade, wasn't it, in 1975, but I think, if I remember rightly, that wasn't for like members of the public, it was for like a tribute show. So that was the last time John ever did a concert for paying guests, shall we say. It's a shame, because he sounds really, really excited on this. I know he's as nervous as hell, but you know, what if he hadn't retired, you know, and he'd gone on to do more tours and things like that. Because judging on that, I think he was about ready. He wanted to you know, start touring again. Well, that's what I think anyway. But of course, what you've got to remember is, when he was on this, apparently he was still with May Pang, wasn't he? And Yoko was in the audience, or so the legend goes. And after the show, Yoko went backstage to talk to John, and then they decided to get back together again after this concert. How true that is, I don't know. But even if it's not true, it does make a nice story, doesn't it? Then we've got John's comeback single from 1980, Just Like Starting Over. Always liked this song. Bit of a sort of like Roy Orbison sort of song, isn't it? You know, bit of, you know, like a modern rock and roll song sort of thing. Every day we used to making love, why can't we be making love nice and easy? And on the back B side of this is Kiss 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 by Yoko Ono, which is actually quite a good song, to be honest. And that one is actually in really, really nice condition as well. It is in nice condition, that. This actually got to #1 in the UK. Not when it was originally released. I think this was released in October, wasn't it, of 1980. And then obviously we all know what happened in December 1980. So this had actually started to go back down the charts, and then it did get to #1 after John was, you know, unfortunately killed. Fantastic song then. Another copy of it there, but that is not in as good a sleeve. And I think that might be a US copy. Yeah, that's an American copy, that one. It's not in very good condition though, to be honest. Labels are very similar, but if you look, there is quite a lot of differences, to be honest. I still think it's a great song, I really do. Then we've got this one. This is a bit of a curio, because this is Just Like Starting Over, but it's on a silver injected label. Again, at one time on eBay and places like that, these were going for stupid money. They have come down a little bit now, but these, which I think these are reissues, so these probably came out in 1981 or even after that, but only in limited quantities, I think. Yeah, these used to go for like £50 or £60. Then we've got another John Lennon single that got to #1. Slightly after his death, which is Woman, which is scheduled to be released as a single anyway, wasn't it? This was going to be the follow-up to Starting Over anyway, so lovely song. Wait for it to get into focus. Again on the Geffen label. And Beautiful Boys was on the B side of this, which actually is a nice pairing. It's sort of like John in song apologising to Yoko for the trouble he'd caused her over the years, or things like that. I think it was sort of like heartfelt when he did it, but obviously after December, I think that song took on a completely different meaning, didn't it? And for once, people did actually feel sorry for Yoko, which they should have done, because she's lost her husband, hasn't she? Another copy of it here. I think this one's in slightly better condition than that one. Yeah. Then we've got, nearly done now folks, so don't worry, there's not many more to do. Then we've got Watching the Wheels. As far as I know, I don't think this was actually released as a single in the UK. I think this is an American copy. But I've always loved this single. It's like John telling people, you know, I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go by and by. I really love to watch them all. What you doing in your retirement? I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go by. But a part of this always reminds me of Imagine. Ding, 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 ding. That bit always reminds me of Imagine. On the B side of this, we've got I'm Your Angel. Yeah, this is an American copy. Like I said, I don't think this was released as a single in the UK. Again, probably one of those songs that should have been a top 10 hit for him in the UK. And of course, the news that's coming out of America at the minute, I don't know how true this is that Yoko has put her and John's Dakota apartment up for sale. Don't know how true that is. In one way, I hope she hasn't, but, you know, there's probably that many, you know, bad memories and stuff. I mean, she's probably got nice memories of her and John being there together, but, you know, going out the front door where your husband's been murdered and things like that, you know, in one way, I'm surprised she hasn't done it before. When you think about it like that, I'm actually surprised that she hasn't done it before, because this is actually outside the Dakota, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, a bit of a poignant photo. Then we've got this. I think this classes as a John Lennon single, or to be put in with John Lennon singles, because this was this is the last song he was working on before he got killed. Walking on Thin Ice, and it just say Walking on Thin Ice for John. He was doing guitar overdubs or something, wasn't he? Again, it's on the Geffen label. Walking on thin ice, I'm paying the price. And it happened. And that is actually a cracking song, Walking on Thin Ice. I think that would probably have still been a hit, even if John hadn't died. In the UK, in the mid-80s, early 90s, you do actually get the words to it there. Yeah, lead guitar on Walking on Thin Ice, John Lennon. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, in the UK, in the late sort of like 80s, early 90s, there's like a punky sort of girl band called We've Got a Fuzzbox and We're Gonna Use It, who later changed the name to Fuzzbox, and they did a cracking version of this, Walking on Thin Ice. Then we've got, this came out in 1982, John Lennon Love, to promote the John Lennon Collection LP. Cover's a bit crap on it. So this hasn't got the original centre, so that's Love. Love is real, ding, 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 ding. Real is love. Love is feeling love. Love is wanting to be loved. Of course, that was on the Plastic Ono Band LP. And then on the B side, we've got Give Me Some Truth. I'm sick to death of hearing things by the neurotic, psychotic, big-headed politician. All I want is the truth now. Just give me some truth now. No short-haired, yellow-bellied son of Tricky Dicky. Then we've got another copy of that, although this isn't in the picture sleeve. But this is a better copy. And yeah, it's in a parlophone sleeve, but it wouldn't have come in a parlophone sleeve at the time. And this one is actually in a lot better condition than that one. Don't think it got very high in the UK charts. Then we've got Jealous Guy and Going Down on Love. Now this was taken from the soundtrack to the film Imagine John Lennon. I say taken from the soundtrack, it was used in the soundtrack. The actual recordings, Jealous Guy, is from the Imagine recordings. It was the same mix which is on the LP. And then on the B side you've got Going Down on Love, which was from the Walls and Bridges album. I think this is some parlophone. Yeah, so we've got Jealous Guy. I was dreaming of the past and my heart was beating fast. Then you've got the Cracking, Going Down on Love. Going down on love. Ding, ding. Going down on love. Fantastic song. Again, it was released as a single in the UK, but I don't think it got very high in the charts. Which was probably something to do with, because, I mean, it's alright not releasing, excuse me, what's that? Not releasing Imagine off the Imagine album, but why didn't they release Jealous Guy off it then instead in the UK? And don't forget, just a few years before this was released, I think it was in 1981, a band called Roxy Music, Fabian Roxy Music, had a massive UK #1 with their version of Jealous Guy. I think this came out in 1985. Yeah, 1985. So, you know, maybe EMI should have released this just after John's death, and they might have had a better hit, you know, hit single with it, and they could have, you know, gave the proceeds to charity or something like that. But then would they have just been accused of cashing in on, you know, John's passing? It's one of them, if, why, maybe, or but, isn't it? Still a fantastic song, man. And I do think that is a good pairing as well. You'll have to excuse me if I look stupid when I turn around, but I've actually pulled a muscle in my neck. Then we've got Nobody Told Me, which was originally going to be a song for Ringo, wasn't it? I think this was one of the songs John gave Ringo that was going to be on his Can't Fight Lightning LP, which was released in 1981 as Stop and Smell the Roses, wasn't it? So Nobody Told Me. There'll be days like these. Nobody told me there'll be days like these. Strange days indeed. Dinky dinky ding. Strange days. And on the B side you've got Yoko Ono, Oh Sanity. And this actually was a sizable hit in the UK when it was released. I think it got into the top 5. Something in the back of my mind is telling me it got to number 2 or number 3 in 1984, because when this was released, Paul McCartney was still at number 1 with Pipes of Peace in the UK. Fantastic song, brilliant video to this, by the way, if you've never seen the video. And this was a song that was already sort of like virtually finished, wasn't it, before, you know, John sadly passed away, because Milk and Honey was always going to be the next album. They've recorded that many sort of like songs doing double fancy. They did know that there was going to be another album. Great song. Another copy of this which is exactly the same, I think. Yeah, and another one which is exactly the same. And then we've got a couple more. We've got Living on Borrowed Time. Living on borrowed time, without a thought for tomorrow. Living on borrowed time. This time instead of being on a blue injection moulded label, it's a silver injection moulded label. B-side is Yoko Ono's Your Hands. Or was it that one that John was going to give to me? I can't remember now. Might have been that one. When I was younger, oh, dum 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 dum. Then I don't think these two were actually released as singles in the UK. I think these were just singles in America. The first one is I'm Stepping Out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. Again from the Milk and Honey LP. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. Ding 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 ding. And then you've got Sleepless Night by Yoko Ono, the B side. Can you see that A side? Can you see that one? And these are in the original Polydor sleeves, which does say Polydor Inc. 310 17th Avenue, New York, NY. So I don't think that was ever released as a single in the UK. And then, last but not least, we've got John Lennon singing a Yoko Ono song. Again, I don't think this was released as a single in the UK. This is an American copy. It's got the American Polydor bag. And it's John singing Every Man Has a Woman Who Loves Him. Which again, remember it's written by Yoko, but it is actually quite a nice song. In the UK, John's version of this was on like a compilation album of Yoko Ono songs, but with other people singing them. So I don't think it was actually ever released as a single in the UK. Could be wrong, but I can't remember it being a single. And on the B side, it's Alright by Yoko Ono song, but that's by Sean. He would have been about 8, wasn't he, when this came out? 1984, maybe 9. Yeah, because the compilation album was actually called Every Man Has a Woman Who Loves Him. And to be honest, if you're saying John didn't like the song and it was a Yoko song, he sings it really, really well. And I'm not taking the mickey away when I say that, he does actually sing it really, really well. So that's going to be it for today. I'm sorry the video's gone on a little bit longer than I expected it to. Bear with 1 second, folks. So as always, thank you to everybody that is leaving me likes. If you've got to the end of the video, well done, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just thought I'd do something a little bit special or different. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing. Subscriptions are still going up, so thank you to everybody. Whether you're old subscriber, new subscriber, thinking of subscribing, just thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for leaving me likes and comments as well. If you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing, because as I've said before, it is free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And then if you subscribe, just tell your friends as well. Yeah, check out Beatle Dave, he's alright, you know. Bit of an old geezer sort of thing, but he has a laugh and a joke, you know. Sometimes shows you some really, really good records, and sometimes shows you some not so good records. Let's be honest, you know, I'm a record collector. Not everything I show is going to be of importance to everybody who watches my videos. I do understand that. So if you've watched my video and you've liked it, please leave me a like. If you want to leave me a comment, please leave me a comment. And that's about it. There was something else that I was going to tell you and I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, this isn't the video I was going to do actually. I was going to do another video today, but there was something I was looking for and I couldn't find it, and to have made the video without that wouldn't have really made any sense. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like again, sorry it's gone on a bit. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you like it, like I say, leave me a comment or a like, and you know, peace, love and happiness to you all. Once again, thank you to everybody that's subscribing. I am absolutely overwhelmed with how the subscriptions, the views and the likes and comments again at the minute. It is actually quite overwhelming, to be honest, in a good way, you know. You know, it's gone it's just gone mad. It really has gone mad, which is good. So long may it continue. Okay, long may it continue. So until the next time, it's peace and love and peace. Remember, you are the Beatle Dave. I love you all, and thank you very, very much for watching this video. Stay tuned, because there's plenty more videos to come in the forthcoming days, weeks and months, and probably years. So, you know, if you want me to show anything in particular, if I've got it, I will do it, and I'll make a video on it. You know, it's not just Beatles stuff I've got. We are doing a mini series on David Bowie at the minute as well, which, if you haven't watched, check it out, because that's had some really, really good views. Yeah, so until the next time, I'm going to love you and leave you. So cheerio, over and out. I love you all.